closing costs for the VA loan.
But first, let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our Tail End Podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
Honestly, we call us text all the time at 252-327-3357. We love talking to you. Do not be shy. Also, don't forget to grab our buyer's guide and seller's guide in the description below.
Exactly. And today we wanted to talk about the details of the closing cost for the VA loan.
Absolutely. So the VA is a great program. You have to have earned your way into the VA loan. Not everybody many home buyers do not qualify because not everybody was in the armed forces. So when we look at the VA loan, you've earned your way in. You get lower than market rates, but that's not what this video is about because a lot of people have these beliefs about what?
They have this misconception since for the VA loan, there's a no down payment or zero down payment. They 100% finance it. There's no cost to the loan. And they think whatever is the purchase price is, that's what they need to pay. And that is not the truth.
Right. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to break it down. And there's two broad categories with this one. So one is going to be third-party expenses. This is going to be your closing cost fees, your home inspection, whatever it is you're doing, the appraisal fee, and the other one is going to be related to the property itself. So this is your home insurance and, of course, the property taxes. So there are still things we have to consider, and we're not just walking into a house for free.
Exactly. And what is the next one that they can do for the closing cost?
Now, I mean, there are limits on what buyers should be paying with the VA loan. There are safeguards and restrictions. And then there's non-allowable fees that the VA says that you cannot pay. So there is limitations on what we're talking about.
Exactly. Therefore, sometimes you as a VA home buyer, they might be able to put this closing cost and asking it as a seller concession into your offer letter. No, that's what we were trying to say.
And it happens many, many times. So you're making an offer where you're going to ask for sellers to pay a portion of the closing cost. This is, of course, negotiable. If it's like the hottest house of the weekend that 1 million people want and 1 million people put an offer in, are you going to get the closing cost? No. But there are many people out there who like the VA loan, who want to support the VA, and they'll think about it. It happens all the time. But what is it capped at?
The cap for seller concession is really 4% of the purchase price.
Okay, so say I was buying a $300,000 house. Well, how much is that cap?
The 4% is going to be $12,000.
So that's the maximum you can ask for.
That's the maximum that you can ask for, exactly.
I mean, honestly, here in Greenville, you don't need $12,000. 100% you don't need $12,000 to buy this home. However, I mean, in other parts of the country, you might. So either way, you know it's capped at 4%.
Exactly. Now we're going to go to the details of the VA-related, loan-related closing costs.
Right, so tell me what those are.
Do you want to start?
Well, I mean, there's the I can never say that word, origination fee. I can never say it. I don't know why. This is the lender-opposed fee. It's typically up to 1% of the closing costs, and this is going to cover them doing your loan, the beginning, the processing, the underwriting costs. All of that should be part of that charge.
Exactly. And when we say 1%, that is the average. Some lenders, even they're doing 0.5 or 0.6. Depends on your lender, of course.
We've seen many closings, and when we see a lender asking for $15,000 at closing costs, we know that there was something fishy going on because it does not cost $15,000 to close on a loan around here.
Exactly. The second thing is that you must pay as a home buyer, as a VA home buyer, is the appraisal fee, which basically bank hires a third-party company to come and bring the actually assess the value of the home that you are trying to buy.
Right. Now, again, this is going to be based on a local market area, what the rates are. There's no one number. We can tell you what the numbers are around average here, but even still, the bank is going to pay different things, the different numbers based on the bank. So, I mean, there's no exact number for that one.
The third one that you always hear is discount point. Sometimes it's a volunteer.
Also, you forgot about the lawyers and the title.
Yeah, I skipped that. My wife is going to cover that. But whole point is this is a voluntary item that you can ask as a home buyer from the lender to give you for lowering your interest rate.
Now, also going back to the lawyers and the title charges, at least here in North Carolina, we have lawyers doing all of this stuff. In other states, you just have title companies. This is how much it costs to actually make that house be yours. So they're reviewing who owned that house, making sure it's legitimate, that you can buy it and that you're not buying it from a scam. I mean, lawyers handle it all around here.
The next one that is a smaller fee is the credit report. Of course, when they pull your credit from the three main credit bureau, they're gonna charge you for that part of your loan.
Okay, and another thing to talk about is well, septic, and termite inspections.
Yes.
You typically have to check, at least here, we're definitely, if you're buying in a city, you don't have to worry about a well and a septic, typically. If buying more in the country, we have to talk about septic, maybe wells, at least in my area, and then always termites, because termites should always be inspected.
Exactly.
It's not a high inspection cost fee, if that's what you're worried about, but it's something required by the VA, and we have to turn in, hey, there's no termites.
Therefore, so far you see that there are costs to a VA loan. It's not free. Now, the next one that is non-loan related VA cost, we wanted to break it down again. Can you start the first?
Okay, so another one is, the first important one is going to be your property taxes and of course your homeowner's insurance. Annual bills for those taxes come in. There has to be a portion paid at closing, because if you buy this house, August 1st, yes, the previous owners owned it from January 1st to July 31st, but once it's August 1st is rolled around, it is yours from August to December 31st. So therefore, at least in tax fees, so you have to pay a portion of those taxes. Also, home insurance is something that you're going to shop for. My husband shops every single year for ours to make sure we're getting the best deal for home insurance, but it's typically an annual bill to make sure that, if something happens, that you can have something to cover your house.
Exactly. Another thing is basically daily interest rate charge. Therefore, this is definitely depends on the day of your closing. For example, you close in the middle of the month or end of the month. If you're, for example, you're closing on your house in the middle of the month, then the lender is going to calculate the prepaid interest, meaning that is going to ask for that 15 days or 16 days remainder of the month and prorate them, and you're going to pay it at the closing table.
Another one to talk about, back to lawyers and title, is they're going to have to pay whatever the government charges for those recording fees. So the Registry of Deeds has a certain price that the lawyers have to pay, which means you have to pay to say that this house is yours.
Okay. And one other things that we have is also homeowners association, or HOA.
Speaking of, we should pay ours. But HOAs are typically, they have associated costs for living in a community. Most 80% of all homes in America have an HOA attached to it these days, so you have to pay your HOA fees.
Exactly. Therefore, you need to be worried. And then we talk about home warranties fees, no?
Now, if you want to get a home warranty, what's a home warranty? You're going to basically pay a certain amount of money, let's say $900, just making up a number, and then you're going to have these people come to your house, and whenever there's a problem, like you have a plumbing issue 6 months down the line, you call your home warranty, and then you pay only the deductible to get that house fixed.
Exactly. And another thing is basically, is there any other fee that is not loan related that we want to?
Well, just mentioning commissions, because that's the honest thing. Most sellers will be paying the buyer's commission. However, we don't know what the deal is in this specific house or the specific category or the specifics of thing. I just talked generalities. So you might be also talking about a real estate commission.
Exactly. And now we wanted to talk about assessing closing costs in your purchase offer. No?
Do you want to start with that? What is that?
Can you elaborate that? I mean, we did it for many home buyers.
Right. So basically, the VA loan has a VA funding fee.
Exactly.
And which is part of the VA loan. So if you're taking the VA loan, they have a very specific fee that is attached to you using them.
Exactly. Therefore, this actually is a percentage that depends on many categories. Like if you are using for the first time, VA loan, or you are not, different. That the percentage is different. But whole point is, when you get this funding fee, is going to wrap up to become part of your loan.
Right, so buyers can request the fee again back to those concessions. You can talk about those things as well. Also, you can kind of negotiate with the sellers about the purchase price if something has happened when you get that crazy fee, if it's crazy fee. Otherwise, it's just expected that fee is going to be there. What is it? How much if I don't have to make any down payment on a VA loan?
You don't need, what do you want to add?
But the fee amount for that is going to be 2.15 of the loan amount. For a second and third time using it, it will increase to 3.3. So just know what your numbers are when we're talking about how much that VA fee
you're talking about the VA funding fee.
Yeah, so
therefore, my wife broke down actually the percentage that I was trying to remember, and my wife actually said it that here. And what else you wanted to add?
Just to tell me, so say I'm buying a $300,000 house and it's my first one. How much is 2.15% of the VA fee?
That's going to be $7,000.
So it's going to be $7,000 that's added to the loan. What happens if it's my second home I'm buying with the VA with zero down? 3.3.
3.3. That's for 200.
For 300.
For 300 is going to be 9,900.
Just so you have some numbers in your head of on averages. Now, what about assessing those closing costs on that purchase order?
Exactly. Now, basically what we wanted to know is what loan estimate, no?
Yeah.
Basically, this is so important. Actually, it's very confusing sometimes. As we said, many of you as a home buyer, you don't know how much is going to be closing cost is going to be for your loan and how much you need to bring cash to closing. Therefore, the best thing is when you start the process of loan, the lender should give you a loan estimate. No?
Right now, this loan estimate will be high because they're going high on those insurance. They haven't really looked at a lot of details. You're going to take that into your hands about insurance. You're going to take it into your own hands to find out how much home inspections cost. But really, you're going to see a basic estimate of what you're going to need to close.
Yes, but it's a rough and very close estimation that you see. It shouldn't be changing a lot. It should be very close to your
home
final.
Inspection, though.
Exactly.
The home insurance.
Yes. Therefore, that's what you need to make sure. And if you don't feel comfortable with what the first lender gives you, try to rate shop for second or third lender.
Yeah, but do it at the beginning of your actual process because
exactly.
You don't want to pull your credit 30 times, but it's not bad just do it 1 or 2 times because you're rate shopping.
Exactly. And the first week and try to be as close as possible. Anything that you want to add?
No, we love to talk to you. We have lots of lenders who know a lot about the VA loan and they're happy to help you.
I hope this podcast and video was useful. Don't call us if you're VA home buyers at 252-327-3357. Looking forward to working with you.